I want to go ahead and make these walls a little shorter, right? So these guys, I can probably just come in and let's see how far I can pull them down before they hit that. So if I just do the top offset, let's just do -3 feet, right? So there's that guy at 3 feet. So it's a little high, maybe 3'6", -3'6", right? And then maybe we see what happens if we do -3'6" here, right? That seems to work. And then we want these to sort of slope from that spring point. And then maybe we'll actually, you know, slope these guys down a little bit, from here to here, since we have a little bit of room to do that, at least on this side. So these guys, you can actually come in and just edit the profile on these. And so what I'm going to do is come into my plan A1 and there's a section running through the middle. So if I double click on that, I can kind of see the wall here. So if I pick that and I edit the profile, I can come in and draw a line. Let's just make sure that we're at the correct slope. So I'm just going to draw a line from there to there. Then I'm going to pick that and move that line from the endpoint there to the endpoint there, and then trim that guy out, right? So if I do that and hit check, then I've got, a wall that's sloping along, once it starts going down, if that makes sense. And then I can pick this one and edit that profile. And I'm going to use the pick line and just pick this guy, and it will project it over to that plane. And I will trim that out and hit check. Right, so now I've got those guys. And the next thing I want to do is, come in and let's take a look over here. Looks like we could slope this one kind of down, to 3'6" there. And this one, right now they're basically 3'6" off the ground, right? So we could leave them like that, but maybe we want this one to sort of almost follow the contour. So to do that with a curved wall, you can't edit the profile like we could with this one. So in order to do that, you can go to Architecture, Component, Model, and Place. And you have to pick the same category as the thing you're working on. So I'll pick Walls. And I'll name this Wall Void. And click OK. And now I'm going to pick the Swept Blend. What this is going to allow me to do is pick the path for the blend. So I'll just go to Pick Path, and I'll pick that. And then I'll hit check because I'm done with the path. And then it gives me these two profiles. And if I select profile 1 and edit that profile, it allows me to go in and set a profile. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle vertically here. It doesn't really matter. And hit check because I'm done with that. And then I'm going to select profile 2 and edit that profile. And I'm going to come down and, I don't know, let's see. Let's do a rectangle here. And basically I'm creating a void form. So maybe it comes down, to that much. And once I'm done with that, I can go to check, and it'll sweep that, right? You can see it sweeping it along the edge. And basically what I've got right now is a solid, but I can flip it to a void. I actually could have made it as a void to begin with, but I like working in solids and then flipping it to a void. It's easier to see. And then you can just go to cut, and you can cut from that. So now, it's not so prominent. This one is actually pretty good. And then I'll finish that model. This one is actually pretty good until it gets to about right here. And then maybe we would want to, maybe this one actually pulls back a little bit, and maybe it flares out. I don't know. Let's pick this guy and edit that boundary. So it's kind of one thing that you can do with Revit is I come over here and let's kind of maybe that flares out and then does that. And so we delete that and trim. Oops, right, like maybe there. and then trim that and that, right? And then if I hit check, right, it does that. And then maybe this guy, if I pull it back, let's create similar, and I'll use the pick line and just pick that, right, and then pick that. And then this is set to what, -3'6" on base. So if I delete that and pick that and set that to -3'6", and instead of plan A1, we go to base, right? And the top is going to be plan A1, right? So now we've kind of got those two, and maybe this one stays the same and this one gets sloped, right? And it kind of flares out and it's a deck over the thing. So then I could come in and, I don't know, maybe this one even pulls back a little bit, right? So you can kind of jump off both sides. And then you do the same thing. So I'm just going to come in here and see if it'll let me pick that wall void. And I'm just going to edit in place. And it'll still let me pick that one and do it. But I'm just going to go to create and create another swept blend and pick the path. And I'll pick this guy and do the same process. So if I select that one and edit the profile, come in here. All right, this one we just need to be that big. Check, select profile 2, edit the profile, and this one, let's go back to a rectangle here. I can't remember how tall I made that. I think it was about like that. So if I hit check and check, I get that. Then I flip it to avoid and cut from this guy, that guy, right? And finish, right? So now I've got kind of this sloped, staggered wall, right? So those are just some of the tools that you can use to make things work. All right, so that's those guys.